Hello ladies and gentlemen, Psycho Gold here of Psycho Gold Gaming. Apologize for the video that you are about to see. It has only now come to my attention as I'm halfway through editing it how bad this video is. Now, I don't mean me, quite the opposite. I actually think this is one of the best reactions I've had for a while, and I think it's one of the best episodes that I've had to react to in a while, which only succeeds to piss me off further. Basically, guys, I reacted to Slime earlier today, then I streamed, then I've done the Patreon reaction, and now I'm doing the YouTube reaction, and now I'm recording this because the footage that was playing up when I was trying to load it for the Patreon version, because they're so close, I don't edit in the intro, I don't edit in my review, I just do the uncut reaction, and then this usually goes up pretty quick afterwards, so the review's here. There's no need to render it twice, essentially. So I didn't notice the problem. And the problem is, my footage, it looks like it is a slideshow. I don't know why. I've filmed 3 reaction videos before I filmed this one, and they've all, as far as I can tell, turned out fine. But for some unbeknownst reason, Slime decided, nah, this is the one that everybody likes. This is the one that you actually really enjoy. Like, this is your favorite of everything you've done today, so we're gonna do you a solid, bro. We're gonna mess it up for you. And there ain't anything I can do about it. It's actually baked into the files recording. The files recording is massive. It's taking forever to do anything. It's taking forever to render it. It took nearly 40 minutes to render just the reaction for Patreon. I'm dreading how long it's going to be to render the full episode, and it's already midnight at the time of filming this, which I've now also got to edit in. So this video is going to be long. I apologize. And at some point, at the very end of the video, all of a sudden, it just clears itself up. Like, whatever the problem was just gets resolved. And it's pretty much when I say, thanks for stopping by. So, that's really irritating. If it was possible, I'd just react to it all over again. But it's not, because ultimately that would be a lie. And honestly, this has some of my favorite reactions in it. And I can't even say that I could put the uncut version of it up because it's better. Because if anything, the uncut version's worse. Because I just don't know what to say. This is like the perfect ending to a crappy day in a horrible month where everything has just been going wrong for me, for us, for myself and my partner. I honestly feel like just giving up and going to bed, but I'm not going to. I'm going to finish this video, and in a minute I'm going to suddenly don my red hoodie as we will go back in time, and you will immediately see the difference. And if you don't, feel free to let me know and I'll laugh. But I'm sorry, I really am. I detest the fact that I'm going to have to put up a video that looks like it was filmed on my freaking 10-year-old phone before they were smart, but I can't do anything about it, and you guys probably would rather there be a reaction than there not be. I would rather that there be a reaction than there not be, and the reviews segment is there, and it's just as bad, which is even more frustrating. The only saving grace is that the audio is fine. I move around like I'm on someone's poor internet connection, but at least you can hear my reactions, at least you can hear my thoughts without any interruptions, without any stutter, without any lag. Because if the audio had been messed up as well, let's just say it's a good thing there's nothing close that I can hit. Anyway, that's enough of me on the verge of exploding and giving myself a heart attack. Let's go back in time, shall we? To a time when I didn't know how badly this was recording. Enjoy past Happy Me as he enjoys what is one of my favorite episodes of Slime that we've had so far, as I discover my new waifu. Last week on Slime, we gained the inclusion of the ogres and Rimuru made them better, stronger, faster, harder, and any other words of that song that I can't remember. Basically, he made them prettier as well, which was an unintended side effect, but I think it's safe to say that everybody now knows the name of the purple-haired beauty that is Xion, and I can't remember anybody else's name. Hers is the only name I can remember, and it's not even because her character has become ridiculously attractive, which she has, but I don't know, man, that name is just stuck in my head, even before we saw her upgrade, so to speak. Now, I have absolutely no idea how her back can take the weight of her chest, because my god, if you look at some of the shots in the last episode, honestly, she's defying gravity by being upright. But that aside, all of the ogres received upgrades and became another race. I can't quite remember what it was called. It began with K. It's like Kijin or Kaijin or something like that. But it was a really fun episode. We also saw that the orcs are rampaging, and we met the lizard men. And in this episode, I believe we're going to be seeing the lizard men again, and it's going to feature heavily the guy that we saw at the end, the son of the lizard chief. Something that a lot of people pointed out, which makes a lot more sense, is that the lizard men don't have an army of 100,000. Now, I've been told that the anime have got it wrong, but I don't know if when they say they got it wrong, they mean the anime's got it wrong and they do have 100,000 in the anime and that's the end of it, or whether it was translated wrong for the subtitles. But in the manga, the lizard men only have an army of 10,000. So the orc army is 20 times stronger than them, not 2 times stronger than them, which makes a significant difference and also makes a lot more sense as to why the lizard men were freaking out, because yeah, no amount of strategy is going to help him in that scenario. The orcs are going to just steamroll through their big marshy city. Yeah, I can see now why they needed to go out and get help, because they ain't going to win that. But if the anime is sticking with the idea that the lizardmen have an army of 100,000, they're still stuck, but obviously getting allies like Rimuru and like the dire wolves, you know, the Tempest wolves, their recently found ogre friends, the hobgoblin army, and anything else that's out there in the forest that decides to side with them. That could actually make a pretty big difference, so we'll have to see just what exactly the anime does. Like I said, I know what it says in the manga because people were kind enough to tell me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the anime is going to do. I would very much like to read the manga for That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime at some point. I'm not going to be reading it anytime soon. For starters, I just physically can't afford it. But more importantly, like I say, I have so many things to read at the moment that I'm just not reading, because all I'm really doing is reactions and streaming and panicking about finances. That's pretty much the 3 things I do with my life now. You know, apart from all of the regular stuff that everybody does. But anyway, that's enough of talking. So that's what happened last week. I'm looking forward to this week. Let's find out just what exactly this lizard man is going to bring to the table. 3, 2, 1, go! Gabiru, that was his name. Gabiru is here. Oh, so it's been a few days since they joined them. Benimaru, was that the name? He's being carried around by Xion. Yeah, maybe you can make some clothes so that Xion won't be so distracting. It's no surprise at all that she's choosing to secretarial work. Is that what he's told her? Secretary and bodyguard. Oh damn, she's like Lex Luthor's Mercy. Oh no, oh no, Albedo and Sheltier flashbacks. Oh, that's definitely Albedo and Sheltier right there. Damn! Xion, you're so distracting! Okay, that was pretty comical. For all the wrong reasons. Oh, wait a minute. Did they know something he doesn't? Is Xion a terrible cook? So everybody's run away at the idea of Xion eating food, cooking food. The jiggle physics then. Why is he sweating? Oh, she must be a horrid cook. This must be like a known thing. Oh wow, what the heck is that? What the hell is that? Oh, he looks... I mean... What the? Oh, Shion looks so happy and like... You will not die! What? When did Great Sage become so sassy? I don't think that was tasty. What the? Shion's... No, not Shion. Gobta's turned purple. Wait, what? Wait, is Gobta actually dead? Nah, see, I think he's actually okay. Deep down, I think it's these three idiots that are like really inflating his ego. Like, I don't think he would actually be this bad. The leader is a slime, and he's not an evil slime. All right? What? Are the lizard men just like a thick species or something? Because those three are like, I suppose if you surround yourself with idiots, you are gonna feel intelligent. He literally just made the most obvious suggestion. Oh, this is interesting. So it's two blacksmiths having a conversation. I wonder if that means he's gonna join them. Why was that in English? And why is he always flexing? Oh, I really... Oh. Wow. Okay. This guy is like over the top personified. Oh my lord, that wasn't effects. That was them using their shields. What is wrong with these guys? They are just ridiculous. Like, why would you send him out? Actually, no, I take it back. Why would you send them as a group out? Oh wow, is Rimuru actually getting annoyed? Oh no, it's Shion that's getting annoyed! Okay, I'm liking this new relationship they've got. Yeah. Has he not noticed that they're... Does he not know what those Kajin... I'm going to call them Kajin for a minute. Kajin are? Yeah, there we go. He's now suddenly clicked that they're not weaklings. Whoa! I can't blame him for that one, though. Yeah, exactly. There ain't nobody weak there. They're all hobgoblins. I mean, are there a couple of goblins? No, because he named every single one. So even if they don't look strong, they are all technically strong. No! Shion! There he comes. The meta skill makes its triumphant return. Oh, he can actually talk. Oh my god, he's so intimidating. I love Ranga. Oh, he was almost doing well then. Oh, don't piss him off. No, no, no. Abort. Abort. Uh-oh. Yeah. I don't think you're gonna get the chat. Oh. Yeah. Oh my god, Ranga is terrifying. Wait. Was that Gupta? In order to counteract Shion's cooking, he has gained the poison resistance skill. Oh, okay then. So he's now poison resistant. Okay. Ranga suddenly calmed down. Now I'm a little motivated. Anything but that. Oh my lord, he just went Super Saiyan. Yeah, okay, I'm thinking he's regretting being constantly held by Shion at this point. See, he's probably not a bad Whoa! Damn, Gobta! I mean, we know he's not bad at fighting, but... he knows that technique! Of course he does! He's the one who found it! Oh my lord, dude, your KO effect is worse than some of the Street Fighter 5 people. Yes, Gobta is using shadow movement, and then he did a spinning roundhouse kick. Gobta is not useless. At last. Oh, okay, so Ranga is actually talking a lot in this one, which is nice. And obviously Rigard gets to have a little bit of pride in his hobgoblins as well. Yeah, exactly, dude. You need to start teaching him more in the way of swordsmanship. Oh, I wonder if he's gonna get, oh my god, the lizardmen are still just stunned. They're like, we will remember this as we run away. Where do we go from here? Ah, the epic CGI, orc army's in full force again. But they look pretty good as shadows. Oh, there's a female hobgoblin at the table. Like, we haven't really seen any of the goblins for a while. It's quite a gathering. No, they're not. They're being led by someone who is, though. Oh, that's why he's thinking about getting involved. I didn't think of that. Why are some of them wearing glasses? That's the only part I don't get. Okay, that seems to have riled everybody else. Tree spirits! Oh no, he's gonna want to go and meet. Okay, so this is interesting. Hello, Trinai. Or Trini? I'm not quite sure. Trini, okay. To defeat the Orc Lord. I had a funny feeling that's what she was going to say. Oh, that's the end. Why does this show do this? Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, episode 11. I love this show, man. I just love this show. It makes me laugh. It's given me some genuine feels, and it's so good when it wants to kick off with its action sequences. When I first started watching this show, I honestly didn't know if it was just going to end up being something very similar to Overlord, but in all honesty, this is nothing like Overlord, and I mean that in a good way. For starters, the CGI that it uses is good, but you know, we won't go into that. This episode showed us what the village looks like now. It almost looks like it could be a town in some corner of the earth that hasn't kept up with technology. It looks so good. It looks like a place you could easily visit. Not be too much without the amenities you're used to. Obviously, there'd be no Wi-Fi. I don't mean like modern amenities, but I mean like, it looks like a very nice place to live. They've got all sorts of, you know, they've got a proper town. They've got a proper community. They've got, what, 3-4 different races all getting along without any real issues so far. I have no doubt that that is going to happen at some point. But the thing is because they all kind of seem to agree on the fact that they are serving Rimuru, it's like they don't ever seem to need to argue with one another. I did really like that bit at the end, though, with all of them sat at a table together. It was almost like a council meeting, like here's members of all the races. But I noticed that there were no direwolves, which is odd. But Ranga and the other direwolves seem to be able to telepathically stay connected, so it's entirely possible that the reason that they aren't present is because they don't need to be. They can just be, you know, psychically part of the conversation, like Ranga's always listening. And personally, speaking of Ranga, I absolutely loved him in this episode. I've kind of been annoyed that since the direwolves joined the show, apart from being modes of transportation and just acting like regular, like, pets, I suppose, they haven't really been featured much or done much, and this episode kind of reminded everybody that actually they aren't just pet dogs that can leap out of shadows. They are Tempest direwolves. They are ridiculously powerful in their own right, and ultimately you do not want to mess with them, and they are other creatures with their own sentience. And when Ranga came out and he was like, you know, 3 times the size he normally is, and he looked very, very annoyed, and then he started, you know, communicating with the lizardmen after his menace howl, and it was just like, yeah, exactly. They are another race that seems to always be just out of shot whenever they show, like, the dwarves, the goblins, and now the ogres all having a chat and talking with one another. The direwolves seem the ones most cut off, but they ultimately are linked with the goblins much more so than the ogres or the dwarves, I suppose. And I absolutely loved all those moments with Ranga, man, especially when it looked like he was going to tear that lizardman limb from limb after he insulted Rimuru. He just looks like the personification of death in a couple of those shots, and that's the version of Ranga that I love. He's so good. And then I love the fact that it was him as well who was like, oh, actually, Gobta, here's a person who's more at your skill level, Mr. Lizard Man. Go on, if you can beat him, then we'll consider your offer. You won't, but go on, try. And then Gobta, my god, he suddenly was like the epitome of focus. Like, he just went full on Super Saiyan. Then he used the shadow technique that all of the direwolves know. And it was just like, that's perfect, man. Like, the desire to not eat any more of Shion's cooking is hell of a motivation. And speaking of Shion, oh my god. I don't typically have best girls or any kind of character in anime that I would love some figures on. There are some exceptions to this rule, and Shion has just become one of those exceptions. I thought she was hysterical in this episode. She is very distracting in all the right ways in every single scene that she is in, and for me, so far, Shion is best girl for me. And I very rarely say that in anime, so yeah. Any scene that Shion's in, I'm probably gonna like, and I'm probably gonna have some extra things to say about it. In all seriousness though, her comedy in this episode with Rimuru, with the princess, and then getting angry in the same way that Ranga was as well, was perfect. Like, Shion takes I want to say devotion to her master seriously. Like, she is properly getting attached to Rimuru. Like, I get the impression that the old man, is his name Benmaru or Benmaru or something like that, but the leader of, I'm just going to keep calling them ogres because, again, I'm sure they're called Kijin, but I'm not confident enough to just keep calling them Kijin. But basically, I get the distinct impression that they would leave Rimuru if they were able to, if there was enough of them, if they were powerful enough to strike out on their own. I don't think they'll stay as part of the community at the end, but maybe they will. Maybe they'll grow to like the position. But I think the other Kijin, I'm going in, why not? I think the other Kijin actually enjoy being part of Rimuru's community. They like serving Rimuru. They like having the dwarves to talk to in the case of the Smithers. They like having a community to protect in the case of the Scout. They like having people to make clothes for. They like having purposes, you know, which if there was just the 7 of them wandering the forest, they really wouldn't have. They're all pretty powerful in their own right, but even all of them can see the logic in being with Rimuru. As could the leader, that's ultimately why he accepted it, but I still think that he isn't quite the same level of devotion to Rimuru as most of the other characters in the show. Like Ranga, Rigurd, and now Shion, they all seem to have this deep devotion / adoration for Rimuru, and the dwarves don't have it, but their loyalty is unwavering anyway. I mean, ultimately, they were exiled from their home to not let people, you know, disrespect or offend Rimuru, their friend. So their loyalty isn't in any question either. But I find it interesting the way Rimuru can just cultivate that kind of loyalty, even in people he hasn't named. Because he didn't name the dwarves. You know, the dwarves aren't monsters, they're dwarves. And I find that really interesting. Like, he can just make people want to be part of what he is doing. Like, they're quite happy to be under him, essentially, regardless of how. They just want to be, and he just cultivates that kind of relationship with almost everybody that he's met. Barring the people that he killed, of course. I absolutely loved that moment as well, where the princess of the Kijin and Shion were both fighting over who gets to serve Rimuru, which they kind of hinted at in the last episode when they were waiting for him to recover. And I do find it interesting that they've carried that on. I really do feel like that whole sequence was like, you could almost cut Albedo and Shaltir in their silhouettes, and with the glowing auras as well, it was like, can you even tell them apart at this point? I thought the sequence with the lizard men in general was quite amusing, and it was nice to see everybody kind of come together and deal with the situation that needed to be dealt with, but overall, kind of felt like the name of the episode being about the lizard men was not false, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, it was still very focused around Rimuru. I honestly thought the episode was going to end up being purely from the Lizardman's point of view. I'm glad it wasn't, because what we got was absolutely hysterical, and I loved every second of this episode, but I really did think that we were going to see a lot more from the Lizardman's point of view. I do find it funny as well that the Lizardmen were like, you haven't heard the end of this, at the end as they run away, because you just think, well, you've now seen how powerful they are. Why would you intimidate or threaten them? You know you can't fight them, and you need powerful allies to fight the orcs. You know, that massive army of 200,000 that is bearing down on the place that you live. Why would you not immediately try and be like, okay, you've offered to help us fight the orcs, yeah, alright, maybe we were a bit arrogant when we walked in, but thank you very much for the offer, you know, accept our apologies sort of thing. You know, I really don't understand that response of trying to intimidate people who are clearly leagues above you. Like, they're named lizardmen, couldn't even beat their little tiny hobgoblin, and that's just all kinds of comical crazy to me. I'm really looking forward to next week, because obviously at the end we got that reveal that one of the spirits of the forest desperately wants Rimuru to defeat the Orc Lord. Or the Demon Lord, which probably go hand in hand with one another, which also means he'll be going up against that masked, Majit, was it called? I can't remember now, it's gone. Anyway, you know which character I mean. So he'll have some powerful opponents to defeat and have to get through a big army of orcs. But I don't actually think with all of the powerful creatures that they've got on their side that would actually be too difficult. 7,000 goblins, an undetermined number of lizard men, as of recording, plus all of Rimuru's armies, direwolves, hobgoblins, Khajiit, him, and let's be honest, Rimuru can take out a lot of those orcs himself. Now, I know some people will tell me that he's not that powerful, you know, he's not OP incarnate, he's not Ainz, and yes, that's true, he isn't, but he showed off just what he was capable of doing throughout these 11 episodes. Think about an army of orcs running straight at him and he casts Water Blade, for example. All of those unprepared orcs in a line, the Water Blade would just cut them apart and it would just keep going. Like if they all come at him like the way they're traveling right now, that Water Blade would take out rows upon rows of them. Now yes, it's not enough compared to 200,000, but combine that with his army and that makes a huge difference, and that's only one of his simpler abilities. He starts casting Black Lightning a few times, which we saw what that could do. And, you know, that's just him. Then bring in the Khajiit. Then bring in the massive Direwolf Hobgoblin combination, who Ranga as well can cast Black Lightning. You know, it's just a massive amount of power to add onto a numbers game, and I think their power will tip the numbers game. So the real question becomes, is there an Orc Lord? Which, by judging by what the Spirit of the Forest has said, yes there is. We're getting confirmation of that. At least everybody thinks there is. And is there a Demon Lord leading them? Will the Demon Lord be with them when they fight? And is there going to be a Majin, the masked thing, with them when they do? Because he was there when they destroyed the Ogre town. And the Ogre leader was fairly confident that they did see a Orc Lord there, but again, I'm still not convinced that that Orc Lord is real. I can't help but think that it is the Orc that we saw Gelmud save at, you know, as one of the post-credit scenes or at the end of an episode, I can't remember which. And he might have had enough power to turn him into an Orc Lord, but it seems very unlikely unless there was something special about that particular Orc. Maybe he was already an evolved Orc, whatever the next state of Orc is. I don't know, Orc Champion, Orc Commander. I'm getting Goblin Slayer references now. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, I can't help but wonder if he is only pretending to be an Orc Lord, and it's actually the Majin that is basically giving him all this power, and he's doing, like, the rest of the Orcs don't know that this Majin is there, is what I'm trying to hint at. Like, the Majin is doing all of the work, and Gelmud is basically fabricated an Orc Lord under his command, obviously, to make the orcs his army by proxy. And if you enjoyed this particular video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and please leave comments down below letting me know what you thought of this episode. I love reading your guys' comments that aren't spoiler-filled. And I really enjoy when I see recurring names, which I really, really do. I know when you guys are here from other videos, when you've been here from the beginning. One Punch fan, you have been here, man, since the original One Punch video went up over a year ago. I mean, this channel is over a year old now. We started, well, actually, it's much older than a year, but anime reactions are a year old. Obviously, 4 months of that year, this channel didn't exist. It was removed due to copyright strike. But seriously, you guys, thank you so much. If you're one of those people whose names I now recognize, especially if you joined us due to Slime, due to Goblin Slayer, due to Overlord, any of you guys, whenever you jumped on, it's great to see so many recurring names, and I do notice you guys. And if you're also one of those recurring names that is now joining me over on Patreon, I love you guys as well. I just love the fact that there are so many of you that keep coming back for more. You don't always like every single anime that I react to, but it is so nice that most of the time I seem to get it right, that you guys like it. So give yourselves a thumbs up. But if you're new around here, feel free to click that subscribe button. We do have several anime on the go at the moment. There is going to be some quote-unquote new anime coming to the channel soon. That will be Planet With, and it will also be followed with Gaku Garashi, which the two of them will go up together because they've already got some episodes up on Patreon. And if you are someone who's on Patreon and you're thinking, but those series aren't finished yet, next week they will be a lot closer than they are right now. But that's going to be it from me for today, guys. As always, my name is Psycho Gold, and I will see you on my next video. Psycho Gold, out.